Hi everyone, today I'm going to make a little video about how you can find the equation of a line if you're given 2 points. So hopefully you'll learn something interesting and fun, and by the end of this video you too will be able to come up with the equation of a line if you are given 2 points. For this video I'm going to look at the point 3, 8 and the point 5, -2. And I would like to think about the line or the table of values that has those 2 points in it. So let's start by making a table of values. I've started my table of values. I put the 3 and the 8 in the table, and I put the 5 and the -2. And what we want to do is we want to do subtract, subtract, divide in order to find the rate of change. When I'm looking for the rate of change, I first need to subtract. I need to do -2, subtract 8, gives you -10. And then I need to subtract the x's. So 5 subtract 3 gives you 2. And then we need to do -10 divided by 2. -10 divided by 2 is equal to -5. This means that the rate of change is -5. It means it's dropping 5 each time. So my next number, 8 minus 5, will be 3. 3 minus 5 is -2. -2 minus 5 is -7. And when we go backwards, instead of going down 5, we go up 5. So then I would have 8 plus 5 gives me 13. 13 plus 5 gives me 18. 18 plus 5 gives me 23. So we can tell from this table of values that our equation would be y equals, it's going down 5 every time, and it starts at 23. That is the equation. I want to point out that when you're finding your rate of change, you could subtract, divide. You can also use the equation that was on the back of your handout today, which was this: your slope, or your rate of change, is equal to y2 minus y1, oops, got that wrong, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, let's cross this out right here, which means I take my second y, subtract my first y. So I have -2 subtract 8 on the top, and on the bottom I have my second x, subtract my first x, so 5 minus 3, and this line right here means divide, so I'm actually doing the same thing, subtract, subtract, divide. So I have -2 subtract 8 over 5 subtract 3, which gives me -10 over 2, which gives me a rate of change of -5, which is the same thing I did over here when we subtracted, divided. But this is how you can write it properly in mathematics. Now what we want to do is we want to see if we can come up with this equation using algebra. So we want to remember that equation that we started off with today in class, which was y is equal to rate of change times x plus my initial value. This is the equation we want to use. Well, we've taken the 2 points, we've put in the points in a table of values, we've subtract, divided, or we've used the rate of change formula and we found that the rate of change is -5. So what I want to do is I want to replace the rate of change part with my -5. So I've taken my rate of change, which was -5, and I've put it in the equation. I know that my y is going down 5 every x, and it started at some initial value. So if I want to find the initial value, what I need to do is I need to pick an x and a y that go together. It doesn't matter which set of points you pick, as long as you pick 3 and 8 to go together, or 5 and -2 to go together. I don't like negatives, so I'm not going to use the negative one. I'm going to use the one with no negatives. So this is my x, and this is my y, which means down here, where I see x, I'm going to cross off my x, and I'm going to put a 3. And then where I see y, I'm going to put an 8. So I'm going to go over here, put an 8. So that means I have 8 is equal to -5. 3 here. These two are right next to each other, which means I'm multiplying. So I have -15 plus the initial value is equal to 8. We're gonna add 15 to both sides to get my initial value all by itself. This is like an initial value, and there's a sale of $15. If the sale is over, the price goes up by $15. So my initial value is going to be 23. So my equation becomes, it's going down 5 every time, and it started at 20. Oh, that marker really wants to be in our video. 23. And that's the exact same thing I got with the table. So let's just make sure that everyone realizes that making a table and coming up with the equation that way is great. That's great stuff. If you want to go a step further, then we want to try doing the algebra. And if you want to make it even harder, you want to do the algebra first and then check your work with the table of values. Today in class, you're going to work on this page, and this page, and this page. In class, you're going to find the equation for each of the lines that you're given information for. And then tomorrow in class, we will have a little quiz based on this worksheet and the worksheet from Tuesday and the worksheet from Monday.